And we're here at Mobile World Congress 2017 talking to David Walsh. He's the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of GenBand. And David, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course, we talk to you every year at Mobile World Congress, so it's good to have a few minutes with you. I want to talk about sort of the evolution of NFV and maybe how far we've come since the last time we spoke this time last year, and really what GenBand's clear and focused strategy is for NFV.
Well, I think the major change, the major shift is this is the year that the stuff is actually being installed. So whereas in previous times we've talked about this, it really was pre-installation, it was more concept, maybe there was some trials going on, but now there's implementations of this stuff going in, and that's what's exciting, to finally see this become real. And the reason why I think that shift has happened is that the carriers realize that it's prime time. It's ready, the stuff scales now, the reliability is there. You know, those are all the things that you got to pass before you can get really this stuff implemented in any kind of major way. So the exciting thing is we're installing it, and there's a ramp up in this stuff. So that's really, I think, the biggest change that we're seeing.
Now, of course, you have two areas of real core competency. You have your networking business, and you have your software business. Can you tell me about the progression in both of those?
One is our software infrastructure, which is primarily moving everything that these carriers have to IP, and that's a steady business that is constantly, there's constant projects. Each carrier has their own time frame from which they are on to make that shift. Some have already made it. Others are, taking a 5 to 10 year approach, and everywhere in between. So in our kind of core business of transformation, that's just kind of, moving forward as it has been over the last several years. But where the real growth really that we're seeing is in our Candy business. And in Candy, we're seeing the evolution of real-time communications, where real-time is being embedded into everything that people are doing. And you see it in IoT, but you see it in every application that you use today. You're starting to see different forms of real-time communications being embedded into it. Not just voice, video, messaging, collaboration, all of that capability making the experience a lot better. So we're seeing in our core business, nice, steady, profitable growth, and then we're seeing explosive growth and opportunity in the embedded communications in the UC space.
There are some clear, of course, clear trends in the telecom space, the telecom market. What trends are really driving your business?
Well, I think a couple things. One is that as the mobility world is taken off and there's more and more devices out there, and now everything can be its own device in the Internet of Things world, and so now you have this geometric connectivity problem to solve, right? We're not in an arithmetic world where a device is linked to a human, like in the phone, it's now a device or communications, anything can communicate. So I think that's the shift that we're seeing. We're moving from an arithmetic world to a geometric world, and that just opens up an endless amount of possibilities for a company like us who can make any endpoint a real-time communications enabled endpoint.
David, of course, there's a lot of convergence in the telecom industry right now and consolidation. What impact does that have on your business?
Well, it can impact you in a substantial way when companies are, and the industry has to consolidate. So we're seeing our customers, the carriers, they want to have bigger platforms, they want to get the synergies that come with the larger platforms, have a larger market presence. And when they do that, when companies come together, often they hit the pause button on initiatives. So we have to be mindful of that's going on. It's just sort of something that we have to deal with. But on the other side, the industry itself, we need to follow their suit. In other words, when the customers are consolidating, the suppliers should be as well. And I think that's a trend that will follow. As our carriers start to consolidate, that will then force us to start looking at how do we become bigger, how do we become more efficient. And that's something we're completely open-minded to. While we're one of the few mid-sized guys that are actually have a global footprint, that means that we're a good platform from which to consolidate around. So if those opportunities present ourselves that, as our carriers have, we'll follow suit.
David, is there a number of opportunities that service providers have really in the climate of networking right now? What would you say in your mind is the biggest opportunity?
I think the biggest opportunity is embedded communications. When real-time communication can be embedded in anything, in every application. I just think and it's an explosive opportunity that brings real business value and value to the consumer. And you see it with all these applications, whether it's stuff like Uber and in all the dating services and all the e-commerce services, where you now can have an interactive experience, contextual experience. So what real-time communications is affording it's affording a better quality of life. It's changing the way healthcare is being done. Every industry is being revolutionized by that. So I think where's the opportunities for the carriers to actually participate in that? I mean, they did in the old world, providing voice and simple things like SMS, but now being able to embed that contextually, that's where we see a very large opportunity, because that brings real value, real business benefit.
Speaking of benefits, I want to ask you one more thing. You have an event, an important event coming up this summer called Perspectives in Los Angeles. What positive effect does that have for the industry? Why are you doing it?
We do it because it's a chance to get the whole industry together and share ideas. It's not really specifically about GenBan. We try to bring together lots of industry people to talk about emerging trends, about issues that they're dealing with in their business, and also we encourage them to share ideas. What's working, what's not working. So it's really meant to be more of a collaborative environment rather than a one-way broadcast of what GenBan is up to. That's better done one-on-one with the clients. This is really an opportunity for everybody to get together, and we also try to make it fun. You know, we throw some entertainment in there. We don't just make it all about business.
I'm looking forward to being there, David. Thanks for inviting me, by the way. Thanks for your time. Good to see you again here at Mobile World Congress, and we'll talk again.
And thanks for having me.
Thanks, David. And to our viewers, you can get all of our content on tinow.org. So long.